Hi everyone, and in today's video, I will talk about how meditation, mindfulness, conscious living, my whole integration of spirituality in my life, how has it changed my life, what all practices do I do, what is it that I regularly practice, what is it that I practice at a certain time of intervals, and what change did all this create in my life. So, as I have spoken about this in my channel before, that I was a very impulsive, reactive, and an aggressive person in my teenage. I would, get into arguments very quickly. I would always want to prove my point, and I would end up wasting a lot of energy there. And I was someone who had a lot of energy, especially a lot of mental energy. So I always used to keep myself occupied with multiple activities. Now, even now, I keep myself busy with a lot of activities, but now I have decluttered it. Now I don't randomly go and choose something. I do it very, very intentionally. So there are only 4 5 things where I put my energy nowadays. That is my office work, my YouTube videos, Instagram videos, my life coaching practices, and I change the proportion of each one of them depending on what situation is going on in my life. So this is how I'm intentionally using my energies. Before my college, I was not like that. Like till first, second, third year of my college, I was quite random. And the integration of spirituality in my life happened when in the third year of my college, when pandemic struck and we all were locked in our houses, and I had time to reflect deeply on the questions that were lying inside me from a very long time. So in that time, during the transition of from second year to third year, I started doing the first proper meditation, that is called as Isha Kriya, from the Isha Yoga Center, which is given by Sadhguru, and I found it on YouTube. I used to listen to Sadhguru a lot, so I tried that meditation, and I love that so much because it helps you to remove the identification that you have with your body and your mind. So I was a person who was too much identified with her mind. So Isha Kriya helped me to disidentify myself with my mind. So I remember as I progressed doing Isha Kriya, my distance between my mind and the observer that I am, that means I was able to observe my thought, that had increased. And as my introspection went deeper in third year, and then from third year to fourth year, I decided that let me go for inner engineering. So during Diwali, I took up the inner engineering online course, which covered all the theory that they had to teach. And in the final year, in September 2021, I did my inner engineering online, and that is when I was taught the Shambhavi Mahamudra, which I regularly practice. So now I have a proper tool of transformation that I practice. But when I did not have these tools like Isha Kriya or Shambhavi, what I would do as a spiritual practice was a very deep introspection when I sit with myself. I learned over time to observe my thought and to ask the right kind of question. So I started doing things intentionally. I started asking questions intentionally. Even if I was searching something on YouTube, the complete YouTube feed started becoming of spiritual topics, and that is when I came across a video from the Vedanta Society of New York, and the video was about Mandukya Upanishad. That is when I understood that the path of introspection, or what is also called as Gyan Yoga, where you use your intellect to actually understand how the consciousness is, what it is. And I still don't have answers to many questions, but that path became very profound for me. I listen to Vedanta Society a lot, so I'm connected to Isha Yoga Center when it comes to doing Kriya, doing practices. I'm connected to Vedanta Society, like not a officially connected, but I watch a lot of videos by um, them. I love their videos. They have very profound commentaries on the spiritual text, on scriptures, and I love that about them. And I do a normal thing that I just write in my diary whatever is coming to my mind. That is a spiritual practice for me because it helps me to look at my own thought. There was a line by Jordan Peterson. He said that writing is the tool for thinking, and I used writing as a tool for thinking. That is when my creativity started coming up. So all the things that I was doing to explore what will work for me were quite random, but now I know what works for me. In terms of scriptures, I can listen from Vedanta Society. I also like the lessons from Yogananda Society. And doing Kriya, I'm connected to Isha Yoga Center and I practice my exercises. I love the feeling after doing Shambhavi Mahamudra. And on the days initially when I was trying to get Shambhavi as a part of my lifestyle, and if I skipped it for a day or two, I would clearly notice the difference of how I feel from inside. And after doing inner engineering, I saw a very significant change in the choices that I was making, in the way I was speaking, and in the way I was reacting to people. I was a person who had answers ready for everything and I could argue with anybody, have debates, and actually enjoy it. But now I was a person who used to listen to the person to understand the other person first. This was a major change that I saw in myself. And second, that my mind, I would catch my mind if it is going into loops. So the problem that I had excess mental energy, due to which my thoughts were very fast. I would not be able to track them when I am thinking. And this is a very personal thing about me that I am sharing on social media, but my thoughts were very, very fast and it was very difficult for me to have a track of them. But now they are not that fast. And after all this happened, the biggest thing that I did was I became a life coach myself. So I studied NLP, I studied mindfulness, and what was taught in inner engineering, that is conscious living, choosing your conscious response, that is what very much aligned with mindfulness. That which sounds like a Western concept, but what essentially everybody is trying to teach is the same, that if we are conscious and fully present with the moment right now, we can make better choices, we can have better conversations, we can help ourselves develop good relationship with people, and we build a deeper connection with ourselves. So if I was to sum up what changed in my life, my patience increased, my anger significantly decreased. It is still there in in bits and pieces, but it is not hurting me as such. Even now, if I get angry, I consciously get angry that yes, I'm getting angry on this topic. First, it was not like that. It was so easy to provoke me, and now it is very difficult to provoke me. And when I sit quietly, I am able to sit with myself. Otherwise, I would constantly need a person, an activity, or something to keep my mind occupied. Right now, that is not the case. Even if I am sitting on myself, I am very happy. In fact, I just like to have my own time, and sitting on my own has become a very beautiful thing. So due to which my energy remains in a good way, and when I interact with people, they also feel that I am adding something positive to their experience. So when you are a aggressive person, agitated person, you do not add something positive to other people's experience. You add a lot of negativity to people's experience as well. So that is how I explored what was working for me. And how do I know things have changed for me is that I can say that there is a lot of stability internally, and it is very difficult to disrupt that internal peace. And before that, there was no internal peace and disruption was very easy. So this was a major change that happened, and it has taken around more than 2 to 3 years of conscious effort to bring this change into my life, in a position where I can say that yes, this change has happened. But I did not give up, even though I was seeing that I sometimes I would get back to my old patterns, but I made it a conscious choice to change my behavior patterns that were not working for me. So once I have this strong intention that I want to change the patterns that are not working for me, the things that work for me presented themselves in front of me. Like everything used to just happen. I used to watch these videos on YouTube. I used to somehow figure out before that, like before COVID, Isha Yoga Center did not offer online inner engineering programs, and I was not very sure if my parents would send me to a yoga center or anything of that sort. But I got an opportunity to get initiated from my home, which was a blessing for me. And I just wish that, if a person who is struggling with their internal systems or their mental thoughts, whatever, if you have that willingness that I want to change this thing about myself, the solutions will present themselves to you. The only thing is that you need to grasp that opportunity and see what is there inside, because things start coming in front of you. I did the soft skills certification and life coaching happened to me. So you start exploring, and what works for you will come in front of you. And that is how I build a life around joy, peace and fulfillment. I know, even if I have not figured out everything, I just know that I am on the right path, and this internal guidance and the voice that I have got internally is a big blessing.